Welcome to our very first episode of Max Homes Real Estate channel.
Yeah.
My name is Max.
My name is Rinsan. We are so excited to launch this, very first episode of Max Homes Real Estate. So, Max, how do you structure this video?
So what we are going to do is we'll have three sections. The very first section will cover any major headlines in the market in the last few weeks that has a direct impact on the real estate. And in section 2, we'll deep dive into the data that has transpired based on the data we received from TREB. So one point I want to make here is we will be basically, when TREB usually analyzes data previous month or previous years. But what we are here is to bring you the latest and greatest data that has transpired in the last 2 weeks so that our audience is ahead of the curve with respect to getting the latest data, what's happening in the marketplace.
Oh, that's nice. The first section is we are talking about the major headlines, what happened in the last week or 2 weeks, right?
Right.
So please, go through it, Max.
So one of the major headlines that came out is inflation.
Okay.
Basically, our inflation for January is recorded came down from 3.4 to 2.9.
Wow.
Which is awesome. But if you look into the granularity, it is because of the gas price fell 4% year over year. So if you remove the gas price from the whole equation of inflation, we are still at 3.2.
Okay.
However, the number one mortgage interest rate being high is number one factor driving the inflation.
Okay.
And to add on that, the housing affordability is still a big concern for the Canadian government.
Right.
What they say is whether if you increase the mortgage rate or decrease the mortgage rate, it's not going to effectively help with the housing affordability.
Okay.
Because if you raise the interest rate, it will be tough for people to make those mortgage payment. But the moment you reduce the rates, there are more buyers coming into the market,
Right.
and the price of the homes go up.
Okay.
So only solution is to bring more supply of homes into the market.
Okay.
We'll deep dive into what's happening in the supply in the next section.
Okay. What does it imply for a mortgage rate cut in terms of the inflation print?
Yeah. So what the economists speculate or anticipate is, there should be an announcement in March 6th, but they're saying the Bank of Canada might do a rate cut only in June.
Oh, okay.
Because they are not ready to cut the rate yet because we haven't got a full control of the inflation.
Right. That's a good thing that we talk about it right now, right? Because when we had this inflation print released last time, I think the market economists were divided that 50% were forecasting a rate cut on March 6th announcement, and the other half were expecting it on June. But right now, I think most of the economists are predicting for the June rate cut, right? Yeah. So when we get more data, it can change. It keeps changing. So it's very important to monitor the data that is coming, especially with the inflation print and also the jobs.
Right.
How is the jobs market is also doing?
Yeah,
right?
I'm glad you brought up the job. There was a headline where the job across Canada there was like 37,000 jobs added, and basically the unemployment fell down from 5.8 to 5.7.
Okay.
Which is a good news for the economy, but from an inflation point of view, the economy grows. It might be tricky for the
that adds more into inflation pressure, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Another major headlines is the new construction. New construction homes is 10% less compared to December.
Okay.
Especially if you look into the condominium market, there's a staggering 41% reduction in the sales compared to 2022, and compared to 2021, 58% reduction in sales. So basically, for condo sales, we are at 15-year low in end of 2023 with respect to condo sales. Because there is a slowdown in the sales of the condo, it has impacted the pre-construction of the condominiums too. So the absorption rate of the new condominium pre-construction has impacted. Because of that, a lot of developers are dragging their project to start their project, because they usually need to sell at least 60 or 70% of their units before they really break the ground.
Okay.
So there is a bit of slowdown in the condo market.
Okay.
The good news is, if anybody is interested to get into buy a condo, it's a buyer's market, and it's a best time for you to scoop up a condo deal in GTA.
Okay. Okay. That's a good news for the people who are, who are in the market for a condominium, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So I think, we can get into the next section, right?
Yes.
So we will talk through the weekly data. I mean, the actual data that is being extracted from our TRUB website, the internal websites.
Yeah. Now let's look at the TRUB data for the month of January, based on the different types of homes. So if you look at the chart here, it's split based on the detached, semi-detached, townhouse, and condo. The average sold price is 1.026 mil. Pretty much there is a decrease of 5.3% in the price of detached homes compared to 1 month.
Yeah.
And if for year over year, there's a decrease of 1.2 percentage.
Yeah.
Right. Even though if you see the data here, even though there's a reduction in the average sold price of 5.3%, if you see the number of transactions are higher. There's almost 22.6% increase from the last month in terms of transactions.
Yeah.
And if you look at year over year, there's almost 36.2% increase in the transaction. Now, if you deep dive into the data from TRUB for the new listing, this is for the residential, excluding condominiums. We have there's a 6.1% increase with respect to the total listing in January 2024 compared to Jan 2023. Also, if you look sales to new listing ratio, we are at 51%. So basically, there's an increase of 12%. Basically, for the sales to new listing ratio is between 40 and 60, we are in a balanced market. So if you look at the condominium sales in Q4, actually, as we discussed earlier, the sales have came down. So there is a decrease in the sales compared to Q4 2022 and Q4 2023.
Okay.
And then average selling price of the condominium is also reduced by minus negative 1.1%.
Okay.
And if you look at the sales to listing ratio for condominium, it's at 35%.
Yeah.
So what that means is basically all the condos are in a buyer's market.
Yeah. Even though the freehold is in the balanced market, the condo is still in the buyer's market. So there is an opportunity for home buyers, to get into the market there, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Because look at the new listings coming in Q4 of 2023, almost 29%, 30% of new listings are there.
Okay.
Now let's deep dive into what has been transpired in the last
Last few weeks, right?
Yes.
So weekly data.
Weekly data.
So if you look at the weekly data, so we are in the week ending of 25th of February. We have depicted the data for the last few months, pretty much starting from 26th November 2023, the last year.
Right.
If you look at the active listings, which is the blue line that you see over there, you see there is a major decrease in the active listing from since 26th November.
Right.
So it was around around 20k active listings were there in the last year, and now if you see in the 25th of weekend, we are hovering around 12k active listings.
Right.
So that's a major decrease in the active listings. That's what even we see, you might have seen in the news as well, that we are seeing some upticks in the market where we are getting more demand, more buyers coming into the market.
That's right.
And you can even see the sales as well also creeping up. If you see at the if you see at the grayish lines, you see for 25th Feb it is 13K. It was almost, we were touching 100 sales or 600 sales in a week. But now we are in a week where we have done 13K or 1366 sales happened in the last week. So that definitely we are seeing some uptick in the market. We will continue to monitor this. So if we know what is happening in the market on a weekly basis, you will definitely come to know what is a trend happening in the market.
Right.
So we will keep monitoring this. Okay, so we talked about the data for the last
Right.
week or two, right?
Right.
But what do you see in the ground?
So what we see in the marketplace is when we go to a shopping open house showing, we see a lot of buyers coming into the market. Obviously, when the spring is around the corner, that's normal. So we see more people, more buyers into the market. There is more offer registered in the property. So yeah, the buyers are conscious with respect to their offer. Definitely, the sellers are not getting what they want.
Okay.
What the sellers are in the mindset of, probably they're comparing their price to 2022 or 2021, but that's not the ground reality. So, but the sellers who are desperate to sell, they take the lower price what the buyers are offering.
Okay.
But the more buyers come into the market, obviously it's demand and supply. Definitely in the market, the price will go up next years.
Yeah, it's still interesting to see, what is the sentiment in the market, right?
Yeah.
So basically, we will monitor what is really happening with inflation and jobs data coming in, which will which will obviously impact the decision of Bank of Canada.
Right.
So it's very important that we will monitor those. We will have those updates in this channel.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I think we wanted to cover in this episode, right?
Yes, we
Yeah.
pretty much wrapped up. We covered pretty much what we planned to cover. We will be gathering more data, and we want to provide you the latest and greatest data, what's happening in the marketplace, so that you can make an informed decision.
Right.
Yeah. So this is we are so excited to wrap up our first episode. We'll be bringing you more exciting information and ensure that we add value to you. We need your comments. We need you to subscribe our channel. For any queries related to real estate, feel free to reach out to us. This is Max Thomas.
This is Rinson Matthews.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.